What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live, Coach Dan, by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
Woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Hey, it's Lions Talk Live. It is, you know what? It is a Wednesday show edition, and we've got a couple big questions that have emerged in the last, say, 12 hours, 24 hours or so for the Detroit Lions leading into week one. Some players weren't at practice yesterday. A couple people are going to play that maybe are a little bit more beat up than we realized going into the start of the season. So we're going to break that down. How big of an impact is that going to be on the game? Is it going to be on the season? Should we be worried about it? We're going to want to pay attention over the next couple of days to all of this, try to ascertain for ourselves. Lions have some emerging problems early in the season. I hope not, but one of them is going to be a topic, a point of interest, I fear, for the entire season. All right, before we get into the main headline of the day, before we get into the 5 headlines now and everything else in between, you probably know the drill by now. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We're making that march for 14,500 people. And we're about 90 subs away from that. So if you can help out with that, that would be great. 88 subs in total to hit there. But 14,500 is the goal, 88 away. If you can help out with that, I surely would be thankful. Also, if you have a free second of time, it won't cost you anything at all. Reach on down, hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button, hit all the buttons. We try to get every episode of the show between 200, 300, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. Last but most certainly, never least, if you are considering buying or selling property anywhere in the great state of Michigan, let alone the continental United States, go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text. You see the number on the screen, 269-998-2384. I've been a realtor for over 30 years, amongst my other 50 jobs, right? But anyways, if you want somebody who's going to work for you, make sure you don't get overcharged. Make sure, nobody's, slipping in fees on you. Make sure if you don't understand what to look for in a property as far as the right, wrongs, the sins of the property, then go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text. No, I'm not an inspector. I've just flipped properties, sold properties, worked on properties for, like I said, over 30 years. So if you want somebody who's going to watchdog you, watch your back, go ahead and give me a call, shoot me a text. We'll go from there. All right, we're going to have some fun with today's show, I think. So without further ado, let's kick it off with 5 headlines now. All right, be honest with me. How many of you are sitting around chomping at the bit for Sunday at 4:15 p.m. to get here? I know I cannot wait for it. All right, Lions announced big Graham Glasgow news ahead of week one. Week one game fan side story by Rich Lewis. This is going to be one of kind of tied into the main topic of the day. Lions do have a couple things of concern for us. One of them being Graham Glasgow. You guys all know a whole lot's riding on this guy to come through this year, be the center for the Detroit Lions, and try to do anything near what Frank Ragnow has done for the organization in the last several years. Ragnow, we guys know he's retired, he's gone, he's not coming back. Graham Glasgow, though, if he can hold up, and that's a big if right now, the Lions are going to be better off than not. For those who may not be privy to it, last week he injured or one of his legs, kind of lower leg injury. They've announced he's okay. He's going to start week one. But where this probably is a topic all season long is think about last year, how beat up he was, how many injuries he played through. Even in the Washington Commanders playoff loss, he had to play through a whole lot of injuries. He himself said he would have came out of the game if Zeitler and a couple of the injuries hadn't happened. He thought he was that beat up, but he powered through out of respect to the team and trying to get that playoff win. Glasgow starting the season off with a leg injury before even week one. It's probably something we're going to want to monitor throughout the year. And if the Lions do have a weakness, we're going to talk about it a little bit during the main topic of the day as well. they may want to address trying to get a upgrade at the backup center position. I fear that at some point it is going to be needed this year. Hope I'm wrong about that. All right, next to the 5 headlines out. Where do Lions land on Week 1 NFL Power Rankings? Question mark. SI.com, story by Johnny Macaroon. Let's get over to it. Hey, you know it's that time of year. Everybody's going to have power lists, power rankings, power this and that, and everything in between. Sports Illustrated has us as the 5th best team in the NFL. I think most Lions fans could live with that. But moving on from it, they do talk about the same stuff we hear all the time. The loss of the coordinators. You got a couple rookies starting on a veteran team. They think it keeps the Lions just around number 5 overall. ESPN, though, on the other hand, thinks the Lions are the 3rd best team in the NFL. They do point out in depth that if the Lions didn't have all those injuries last year, could they have been hosting the Lombardi? We'll never know, but I think most people watching the show would say that the Lions had as good a chance as anybody else of winning the Super Bowl last year if everybody on defense wasn't out for the game, for the playoffs, that is. All right, The Athletic has us at 6th. Last year, they did have us at 7th to start the season, so not a big move there. CBS Sports, last year at this time, they had us as 4th. This year, they got us as 7th. Forward the Win has us as 5th. Sporting News, last year this time they had us as 5th. Power Rankings this year going into the season, 6th place. USA Today, both last year and this year, they've got us as the 9th best team in the NFL. They do have the lowest ranking of the national pundits on the Detroit Lions. And they do there are just a lot of question marks with the coordinators, with Aiden Hutchinson, and a bunch of other things on the offensive line. You guys probably get all that. So for them, USA Today, they're saying the Lions are the 9th best team in the NFL. You know how you prove them wrong? You go out there and win a bunch of games. You know what? They'll shut everybody up about that. All right, moving on to the next of the 5 glorious headlines now. Detroit Lions rookie wide receiver among 3 players not spotted at practice. Again, tying into the main topic of the day by Ben Raven, MLive.com. I guess I could have jumped on air yesterday in regards to this. I just didn't think it was a big news, but maybe later today it will be confirmed to be big news. I don't know one way or the other, and I didn't want to speculate on it. It's just my opinion, since Isaac TeSlaa, the outstanding rookie wide receiver that I think most of us have some pretty good expectations for this year with him. Since he didn't miss anything last week, there was no reports of injuries. The Lions had Saturday, Sunday, Monday off for the most part, on Monday at least. Then I'm guessing it's not an injury-related concern with TeSlaa, but we'll find out later today. If he's not in practice, then he might have something going on there. My opinion is that it's probably something more personal, maybe an appointment, something he had to go do. Again, don't know, but the fact that he wasn't there and you had MCDC at a presser just recently mentioned they've got big game plans for him going into week 1 of the season, and now that he's not out there for the first official practice to get ready for Green Bay, it is a little bit of a red flag and an eyebrow raise. All right, other people who didn't participate in practice yesterday, running back Sion Vaki, not a surprise, the guy's never available, and linebacker Trevor Nowaski. I really like Sion Vaki, but at some point, if you can't ever play, you're not going to impact the team. He's had some struggles last year, and then early this year, and when it comes to injuries, we'll see what shakes out with him. Linebacker Trevor Nowaski, he did start a few games last year. You guys all know him. He's, very athletic and play multiple different spots in the linebacker positions. But you know what? You got to stay healthy. So we'll have to pay attention to this later today. If any of these guys aren't out there for today's practice, I can only speak for myself as a coach. There's probably no chance they're playing on Sunday, or at least very limited participation. How about that? All right, next to the 5 glorious headlines now. Dan Campbell suggests Lions defense will make everyone forget about Michael Parsons. Sideline report, Candace Perez with that one. And yeah, MCDC was asked, you knew it was coming. What do you think about Michael Parsons? What kind of impact is he going to have on the game? MCDC, anybody who's watched him for the years now, he's not going to really give you some sort of big bulletin board material. He shows nothing but respect to the other teams, nothing but respect for the players, whether they're his players or other team's players, and just says, hey, he's a great guy. But you know what? We've got some guys too. Goes on, talks about his defense a little bit, doesn't give any tips. He's not going to give out any kind of schematic ideas for the Packers to pick up on. But he did talk very well about, just a number of the Detroit Lions players he thinks are going to be able to get home this weekend. He was asked by reporters, hey, why didn't you dress more on the defensive line or somebody to get after the quarterback? Just said we didn't need it. And I'm paraphrasing here. These aren't direct quotes. but just basically said we didn't need it. We believe in the guys that are wearing our uniforms. They're going to be on the line of scrimmage and going after Jordan Love and every other quarterback this year. I think he might be right. Now, we've been speculating for a few weeks now what the Lions are going to do defensively, what Kelvin Shepard has in store. You know what? We're all going to know probably by halfway through the game on Sunday. That is all going to be revealed. All right, his time is coming. Lions wide receiver coach believes Meeks will excel. Detroit Lions on SI, story by John Macron. So if TeSlaa for some reason can't go this weekend, I do anticipate Jackson Meeks will be activated for the game. What you're going to get out of him, I don't know. I just don't think that you would leave him off the field for this. You saw a whole lot of good stuff from him in the preseason. Is he that guy that can come in and give you 10 reps, 15 reps week one of the regular season? Maybe. But if you want to hear what your coach is saying about you, read this story. He goes into a whole lot of depth, detail in regards to this. Jackson Meeks, I think most of us were surprised he cleared waivers to get the Detroit Lions. Why that is, I don't know. I would say there's probably about 20% of the league that has a real need for young youth in the wide receiver room. Maybe they felt better about who they have. Maybe it was this, that, the other thing. I don't know. But you know what? The Detroit Lions, I think, have a big win here. His coach does go out and kind of corroborate it in this story. I think for getting him, Jackson Meeks, for just $20,000. I mean, not that that's not a little bit of money, but let's be also fair. By NFL standards, that's nothing on a contract. Well, also what he did, I get it. Some people are going to say, man, you're doing that in the preseason against the second and third string guys. Some of those guys aren't even playing in the league anymore. That's also true. But you know what? When you're out there against those guys, you better make plays then. Because if you're really that much better than everybody else out there, you should be out there making plays, catches, running for yards, whatever sport it is. If you're playing weaker competition, you should excel against it. And you know what? At least in my opinion, he did just that. All right, guys, let's wrap this up and get over to the main topic of the day. I think we got a few things to talk about here. I've tried to do things a little bit different, trying to get us some perspectives from the Green Bay Packers about the Detroit Lions. We're going to talk about the game. We're going to get into it. So without further ado, let's dive into it. All right, it is game week one of the regular season. We're just days away from it happening. I want to try to just go through and give you some perspectives about some problems we're facing. Like we talked about during the 5 headlines now, there are some questions, and they're going to be legitimate questions going on with Isaac TeSlaa. Until we see him on the practice field, if he gets today and Thursday in the walkthrough, whatever they're going to have Friday, assuming that they're going to fly to Green Bay Friday and not Saturday, you know what, he should be fine. But you traded Tim Patrick. You got rid of a veteran wide receiver. You know what you get out of him in the NFL. And now you appear to be riding in on TeSlaa along with Khalif Raymond to really be your support groups backing up St. Brown or Jameson Williams. Without him out there, you are going to be a little exposed. So keep an eye on him. Graham Glasgow already talked about it a little bit, but what is going on with that leg? Can he stay healthy for the full season? It's a little different when you don't need him out there all the time. But right now, I would ask everybody watching this show, do you need Graham Glasgow if you're the Detroit Lions offensive line to perform at a high level and stay healthy? If you're 32 years old and already starting off with a lower leg injury, that's probably going to pass on to the length of the season a little bit. It's not going to fully heal up, in my opinion. I don't know the full extent of the injury, but we're going to want to pay attention to it because right off the bat, before we've even taken an official snap, he's dealing with a lower leg injury, which we guys know he was dealing with some injuries last year. Who would back him up if he comes on in? Do we have anybody there? The offensive line is the bread and butter for the running game and the protection of Goff. So while everybody else seems healthy, we all seem right, we are going to want to pay attention to Graham Glasgow. I have no doubt in my mind he is a warrior, and he will battle through any injury that he can possibly, get back on the field and play with. No different than Frank Ragnow. But he's got some expectations to live up to, trying to keep up what Frank Ragnow has done. The next on the list for the areas of concern we're going to want to pay attention to, I probably don't even need to bring this one up, but Marcus Davenport, he's going to be your starting edge opposite Aiden Hutchinson. Can he stay healthy? If he stays healthy, this defensive front looks pretty dang good. I don't know what the rest of the depth can do. You don't know what the rest of the depth can do. We're all assuming what some of these guys can do, but until they get out there and prove it, it is just that. It's guesswork. But if the Lions get hit on these three, Tesla, Glasgow, Davenport, you know what the projection for this season. You saw it during the predictions for where the Lions are, or the power rankings, whatever you want to say. Then you know what? If those three guys hit, I think the Lions power rankings are going to keep going up, up, up. Why is that? It's going to be hard to find any kind of weak spots on this team. You go through position by position on the Detroit Lions leading into the Green Bay Packers. There just aren't a whole lot of weaknesses. All right, now with all that done, let's go over to a couple things. I'm going to give a little bit of a report. This is coming from, oh boy, I got to remember the name of it. Let's see, Zach Cruz of Packers Wire. He breaks down the enemy position. That in case you missed it, that's us. He's going into this week talking about the strengths of us, talks about the newcomers, does point out one thing right off the bat, the quarterback play. In his opinion, and this is not a Detroit Lions beat reporter, this is somebody who actually dislikes the Detroit Lions. He rates Jared Goff as the fifth best quarterback in the NFL. Talks about his accuracy, his cool under pressure, and I know that's going to be a tough pill to swallow for some of you guys that really don't like Goff, but this, again, is somebody who isn't getting paid to talk about us. This is somebody who is actually for the opposition. Talks about what you saw last year in the emergence of the last few years with Jared Goff. Somebody who is highly accurate. You saw multiple games where he didn't even throw an incompletion in a half, let alone the full game. Talks about his average of 8 yards per attempt, throwing 97 touchdowns against only 31 interceptions during his time in Detroit, and a 102.1 passer rating since 2022. Going on from that, he does talk about, and apparently he analyzed the line of scrimmage. Points out that, yes, Detroit Lions are going through some changes with their offensive line. In his opinion, though, the Lions' offensive line is actually overall better than what it was last year. Talks about Christian Mahogany, talks about Ratledge. He thinks these two guys are already better overall than what the Lions had at the guard position last year. He does point out the one big question mark, as we all get it, is going to be Graham Glasgow, just because, you know what, he hasn't played center in a while. He does have some situations. Last year he didn't play the greatest, but then also supports these theories by saying Taylor Decker, Penei Sewell are the best NFL tackle duo out there. There's nobody who's got a better one from there. Turnovers, Eden points out the Lions do not turn the ball over very much at all. Says how, basically most of the turnovers came in one game. You guys probably know it. It was the Houston Texans game. Goff had, 50 interceptions by halftime, but still found a way to win the game. He also goes on to analyze the injured players for us. He points out at length when Aleem McNeil comes back, Malcolm Rodriguez, amongst a few others, he thinks this Lions team is as deep as anybody out there. And again, for those just joining, this is not a Detroit Lions reporter. This is somebody who's for the Packers, breaking us down going to week one. And then he says highest expectations for people that don't pay attention to the Lions all the time. You're going to want to pay attention, is his opinion to Brian Branch. Thinks he's going to be all over the place. Also points out Jameson Williams, the speedster, is probably going to be a household name by the end of the season. Sam Laporta, if you're not a Detroit Lion, this is per him. If you're not a Detroit Lions fan, you need to pay attention to him. The third-year tight end has almost 150 catches with 17 total touchdowns during 2 years. In his words, quote, "That's insane." Jack Campbell, the 2023 first-round pick, led the Lions in tackles last season. He thinks he's one of the emerging playmakers in the NFL. Pay attention to him. And again, this is from a Packers beat reporter. All right, now let's go on to some of the predictions, if you guys would, please. All right, we try to round up a bunch of predictions going into this week, week one. Let's get into it. All right, we got the Vinny Tyler of the Sporting News saying Lions 27, Packers 23. Bill Bender of Lions Wire has the Lions winning 30-25. Bender goes on to just offer some thoughts, talks about the biggest thing he thinks in this game will be the fact Jordan Love, yes, it was his non-throwing hand thumb, didn't get a lot of reps during preseason. He expects that the Lions are going to bring the heat on him a lot. And you know what? That may lead to some early turnovers. And I agree with that. We could catch him sleeping and kind of off base there. All right, next one I got is Jeremy Cliff of the Arizona Republic. Lions 27, Packers 24. We'll take that. John Breach of CBS Sports, 20 Lions, Packers 16. Breach, the Lions have won 3 straight in Green Bay, and if they win this game, they might as well change the name of the stadium to Lambeau Field. I'll take that. ESPN jumps in with Matt Brown, picks the Lions, does not give a score. Mike Clay picks Lions. Kaylee Collar, Lions. Seth Wickershaw, he picks the Packers, and he was the only person that I found that picked the Packers this one. You guys all know the line for this game has changed. Lions were originally up. They were predicted to win the game. The Packers acquired Micah Parsons. You guys all know that. And now the Packers are favored by 1.5. So just keep in mind that's a pretty big switch in a 24-hour window for you. But we're going to want to pay attention to it. I'm going to guess. I don't bet, so I can't really give you that kind of information. But my personal opinion is, you know what? If you're going to do betting, I'd probably pick Detroit because I think Detroit might win, but I don't want to give that away until Friday's show. So you have to pay attention to Friday's show to see what my official score prediction is. All right, guys, I've rambled on a little bit here. What are your biggest worries or concerns? Do you think the Tesla thing is anything, or do you think, man, he just had something personal going on that day? I guess we'll know here in about about 5 hours, we'll probably have that answer. Graham Glasgow, if you're Brad Holmes, if you're Dan Campbell, are you trying to find just kind of security blanket? Are you out there making some phone calls, kicking some tires, trying to get in a good, solid backup here? Maybe you feel like it's already here, but I'm just offering my opinion there. And if you got any other thoughts, by all means, throw them in the comment section. All right, let me scroll to the top of the screen and see what you guys have to say. I'm still scrolling, so give me a second. I'm almost there. I'm trying my best. I'm reaching for it. I'm in the end zone. Hey, there we go. All right, Michael. Greetings, salutations, Coach Dan and Duke Crew. Exclamation point. One pride. Woo! Back at you. Johnny L. Good morning, folks. And good to see you. Jameer. Greetings, salutations, Duke Crew family. Hey, always good to see you, man. And especially in the morning show. Football is finally here. It is, man. Tomorrow night, the NFL is back. Johnny L. No worries in my house. I'm glad you have no worries. Jameer, I have 2 tickets for the first home game. Go enjoy it. Go have a great time. I think you will have a great time. Dre Day, Haktu Mantra, One Pride. I'll go with that. I probably murdered that. Henry Moore, good morning, Coach Dan, the Duke Crew. What a team. What a podcast. What a time to be a Lions fan. Woo! And with an exclamation point, by the way. Man, do I miss Lions Talk Live? Just been getting up late? Hey, it happens, man. You can always hit the play button. It doesn't have to be live. But, hey, glad to have you live. All right, Trey, what's good, everybody? Question mark. Really looking forward to showing what we've got to work with this season. In your opinion, I wish DC would have played the starters some in the preseason. I get it, man. We talk about it all the time. Me as a coach, I do play them. I play them a lot. Why? I want to make sure when we get to that first game, and I don't care what sport it is, soccer, football, tennis, whatever, the first game feels as normal as it can be. You don't have the jitters because you've been going for it for weeks or months. MCDC has his own, thoughts on it. Well, I can say is last year we won 15 regular season games. It seemed to work. The year before that, I don't even remember. We had a pretty good record as well. Sure, the Pack is about to get smacked. I like the way you're thinking. Anymore, a great and glorious morning to Duke Crew. Countdown time has begun. Exclamation point. The opposition is tough. We are tougher. I think we are going to be tougher, 100%. We're going to be more physical. 70, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. I agree with you regarding that, Trey, but it is what it is at this point. I would agree. About to take the kid to school, so I'll be listening in. Have a great day all. Back at you. Hopefully it's a good day at school for the kiddo. Robert, greetings, Dan and crew. Exclamation points, excuse me. The Lions defense will surprise many, and we know what the offense will do. This year will be epic. To your point, one of the biggest advantages, in my opinion, from a coaching standpoint, is going to be that first half for the Detroit Lions. Why is that? The Packers, what you're getting out of them for the most part on offense and defense, unless they throw you a curveball, do something they haven't done the last few years. But with that also being said, nobody knows really what Kelvin Shepard's going to do. We have got a pretty good idea what John Morton's going to bring to the table, although he could have his own wrinkles. I think Shep's got some stuff in hand. We're going to see probably right off the bat just different stuff, and it may take, especially with Jordan Love missing the vast majority of the preseason because of that surgery, it may take him a quarter or two to kind of adjust along with the coaching staff to what the Shepard's doing. If the Lions have some real success on defense and can build a lead at halftime, you know what? They might be able to really put the knee into the chest of the opposition the second half. All right, Moonscar Blade, good morning, Duke Crew, starting lineup, and back at you. Art, I seen a bunch of news that Tesla did not attend practice yesterday and that he has an injury. Any truth to that question, or is it more media speculation? I have no idea about an injury. The only thing I can say is unless he got injured over the weekend doing something non-football related, I just don't see how he would be injured because there was nothing that I can remember. You guys feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but last Thursday or Friday, there was nothing about him being injured. So if they were off for the weekend, how did he get hurt? Unless, again, it was something non-football related. Jess, greetings, salutations, Duco. How's everyone feeling about the Pack? Question mark. If we can run the ball on them with Clark gone, I think we can control the tempo. Yeah, the one thing I would say, and we mentioned it when Clark got traded for Parsons, is they must have some idea that there must be some other parts there that can fill in for Clark. Because would you really expose yourself that egregiously to the run game defense? I mean, maybe they would, but we've also talked about, especially with news about Parsons' back injury emerging more and more, maybe there's a little bit of desperation from the Packers. You know, they win one division game last year. They did make the playoffs, didn't go well. The year before that, they did smoke the Dallas Cowboys and then got ran. Maybe they feel like if we don't make a move to really push ourselves forward, then we might really fall behind. Good morning, Duke Crew. T. Lord said, let there be grit, and there was grit, and the Lions were born, exclamation point. Woo! The Lord might have done that, just indeed. I can't wait for homecoming to be sent back to the hibernation. Yes, we'll see if we can send Ben Johnson back to hibernation. How about that? Anymore, glory is almost upon us. To the victors go the spoils. Woo! I concur, Johnny L. I just don't understand all this worrying. Hey, worries happen, man. Johnny L., the master of grit. Good morning, sir. There you go. Just Packers have some studs that can get pressure on golf. They do. They do have some guys that can get after the quarterback. Don't sleep on that. If Love takes care of the ball, this could be a big week one test for both teams. It could be indeed. But if he's off at all, just with timing or whatever it is, caught off guard, off balance, maybe protects the hand a little too much, he could be hesitant. And, we can say this about Jordan Love. Half the time he looks great. The other half the time, not so great. Big Eddie, if we can limit the Packers running game and get constant pressure on Jay Love, then I think we've got this game. I like the way you're thinking. Why is there a picture of Tesla in the thumbnail, and should we be worried? We'll know later today, man. If he's not out there today, then something's going on with him for sure. Coach Rock, good morning all. Back at you. Could be a low-scoring game with a win by a field goal game. Of course, I want to see the Lions blow them out. Hey, if we could just win by 50 points or be up 90 points at halftime at least, I'd be okay with that. France, Tesla wasn't at practice yesterday. Correct with that. Johnny L., there you are, my grit brother. Brent, Tesla, Vaki, Noroski did not practice. Correct with all that. Art, my typing and spelling is off. I need more coffee. Have some coffee, my friend, or a delicious Mountain Dew. Good rock. Grit morning. There you go. Art, my spelling is off every day. Man, I've had that my entire life. Coach Rock, I see John Gruden picked the Packers to win. He did a step-by-step of all the players on both sides, but that's on paper. Correct with that. Paper never won a game. Unless it's rock, scissors, paper, I guess. Johnny, I ain't scared. Me either. Server, good morning, Coach and the Lions fans. And same to you. Brent, have they said what they didn't, why they didn't practice? Now, they at least not that I've seen. Leonard, greetings, salutations, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. Less than a week to go, and all I think about is the hope and the health and good luck for this year. Go Lions. Hey, Leonard, good to see you, and I agree. Let's stay healthy this year. Coach Rock, a big grit morning to you, Hookadoo. Sunday is a day closer. Yes, it is. Every second ticks by. Man Bear, good morning. Hookadoo, Skip Gruden, he must be out playing golf. He might be playing some golf. Susan, hey, Duke Crew, let's get this first game of the year. Exclamation point. I like the way you're thinking. Jennifer, good morning all. And back at you, Johnny L. They are going to get a heavy dose of Sonic and Knuckles. I can guarantee you that. Exclamation point. And I agree. Server Tesla must be the concern. If he doesn't play, we might see a little bit of Lovett. Wonder if they elevate Meeks to stay with the four receivers. I would think so. I think you're going to go out there with at least five as much as we use the wide receiver position. I would think you'd want to roll into the game with five wideouts. Drake, Super Bowl or bust, exclamation point, laughing out loud. Come on, Detroit. Let's do this. Let's do it. They'll sure hope Isaac Tesla practices today. Me too. Coach Rock. Is the big question, is Tesla healthy for the upcoming game? Hope he's all right to play. I would think so, but again, we'll know later today. Chris Steele, what up, Duke Crew? What's up, man? It's Steele. How you doing? 5 fingers ready. Get to Love early and often. Keep the pressure on him. Yes, that is what I would do. Keep switching formations. If you're really going to switch between a 4-3, a 3-4, do some hybrid schemes, I keep it going all the time. Again, he's been really restricted what he can do during the preseason. So you know what? If you can confuse him, create that half second of hesitation most defensive coaches talk about in any sport, then you know what? You're probably getting home on him. Hookadoo. Professor Steele, good morning. Back at you. Johnny L., what happened to Tesla? That's the $1 million question. Anymore, I think I'll make some stuffed chicken breast wrapped in bacon for supper tonight. That sounds good. Steve Roger, who is the guy in the photo other than Tesla? That would be Graham Glasgow. Well, I guess there is Dan Campbell, too. So Dan Campbell or Graham Glasgow. Leonard, I see Gruden's breakdown, but I still can't see losing this game. Goff is the best quarterback in the North Conference by all statistics. Love, JJ, and Williams will have more to prove to be at Jared Goff's level. I agree with that. Very well said there, Leonard. Very well said. William, greetings, salutations, Dan of the Duke Crew. It's 4 a.m. and I am all ready for the Lions football. Woo! I think we're all ready. Whether it's 4 a.m., 2 p.m., or whatever time it is, we're all chomping at the bit to see the game. Server, Rock, but Gruden coached Green Bay, and he only gave them a victory by 3 points. Game wide open, as many new elements are in play. Yeah, and plus for the home team, usually that's worth a field goal. I still think the Lions are going to win. Jessica, I'm getting excited for Sunday. I think we all are. Go Track. Good morning, Johnny L. See, you have the grit this morning, and hopefully we all got some grit this morning. Brett, good morning, Hogan. No reason given that I could find for the missing players. Think the injury report comes out at 4 o'clock? Yeah, it's Wednesday injury. The first initial injury report should be out around that time, Brent. Hookadoo, don't forget to put a little cheese on that, Henry. We're going to be eating cheese on Sunday! Exclamation point. Dale, offenses are usually shaky the first few weeks in the new season. Run the ball down the throats, wear out the defensive line. Yeah, just like we did last year to the Rams. That's right. Pat Danforth will be the MVP of this defense. Hey, wouldn't that be something if that holds water? Kurt, Hookadoo, good morning. Kurt Steele, first official practice report comes out today. Yes, sir, later today. Coach Rock, like I said, server, that was on paper or a chalkboard, and I haven't seen too many games won by that way, so we got this. I like the way you're thinking. Torrey Apple, how many yards for Gibbs this season? Let that man go on. I'm going to say 1,400 yards combined. I don't think they're going to wear him down, but I do think they're going to use him more, but in different ways. Coach Rock, good morning. Kurt, server. They say wide receiver M. Golden has been a monster in training camp and hasn't dropped a pass, if I'm correct. Curious to see him playing. He was definitely impressive at the combine. Looks big, clock fast. He did. We'll see what we do to contain him. Amy Spray, good morning, Dan, and the ultra fabulous Duke Crew! Exclamation point. That regular season is just about ready! Exclamation point. Can't wait. I'm a kid waiting outside the candy store. Woo! Go Lions. Send them packing. Let's see if we can send them packing. Silver Server, Pat Rock. I really like that idea. Me too. Rock. See, Rocky, what do you got? If you're worried about Tesla, they got Meeks to step in for a game and see what he brings. Well, that is accurate. Man Bear, good morning all. Back at you. Johnny L. The Packers and the Bears are going to be our whooping post. I hope we whip them all both down. Mary Smith, good morning. Dan and Duke Crew. We're halfway there. Love the press conference from Dan and the coaches and players. Yeah, I think they do a real good job of that stuff. You can see where they've all evolved from when they first got here to where they now are in the mic. They're pretty relaxed. They tell you what they think. So Smoke, good morning, Duke Crew. Back at you. Coach Rock, love that song, Johnny L. Woo, you nailed it. Let's see, Dale. I agree, Mary Smith. Glasgow seemed to be a cool and enjoyable guy to be around. Get that man in Mountain Dew. Woo, hey, I like that, Dale. I like that a lot. Black Jared Jones, grit. Who doesn't like some grit? Michael, I find it hilarious how many negativity the outside media has thrown at the Lions for this Super Bowl winning season they're going to have. Yes, indeed. Laughing out loud. We're going to win it all. Don Kong, Tesla is already injured. We don't know. Yeah, I don't. Maybe Kurt Steele. Maybe you guys know what the status is. I just know that I didn't see anything about an injury, so I'm speculating that he is not actually injured. Maybe he missed it for a personal reason. We'll find out. Sir Mary Smith, that quote "love" with capital letter got me worried for a second. It happens. Henry Moore, I think I'll make some half-pound Cajun burger for Sunday's game with deep fried. You do just that. Henry Moore, onions. There you go. Woo! Okay, Leonard, hit that thumbs up. Yes, if you guys can, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit all that stuff. Look at him. Good morning, Mary Smith. I see it's just your nature to spread the grit. Oh, yeah, I'll take that. King SJ, good morning. Coach Dan of the Duke Crew. Go Lions! Exclamation point. Mary Smith, I like reading the comments from our Duke Crew. Thumbs up to Don Burr. He was hilarious. There you go. Jennifer, oh, boy! Exclamation point. Here we go. Right, Jennifer? Johnny L., can you see what the media did did to me. We'll find out. I'm not sure. JC, greetings, salutations, coach and crew. Exclamation point. One more wait for a new season for our Lions to shut up all their haters. We do have some haters, man. But you know what? How do you get rid of them? You beat them down. And hopefully we do that throughout the season. Mary Smith, Hookadoo, as always, good morning. Silver, at least we got Colleen back. Kingsley Iguana does not reassure me so much. Yeah, I don't know enough about either gentleman to speak intelligently about them. Maybe the Lions coaching staff and Frank Haley says, hey, these guys are good to go. Not a problem at all. But I would just, without knowing that myself, I would not be afraid to go out and get something more. All right, Coach Rock, Frank's still in the bullpen. You never know. I hear he is still working out. Maybe true. Maybe true. Mary Smith, Silver, good morning. You know I got Dew Crew brothers. You do have some Dew Crew brethren. All right, Brent, Silver, ditto. Glad Colleen's back. Me too. Johnny L. I was thinking that exact same thing at Coach Rock. Silver, Troy Aikman still likes the Lions, says coaching matters, and losing 2 coordinators is not a joke, but if there is anyone who can overcome it, it would be Dan Campbell. I agree with that. And, Troy, he went through a few different coordinators and a few head coaches, obviously. They still won Super Bowls. They still, did some good stuff. So we'll see what shakes out. We'll know a whole lot more earlier in the season than later. Silver, Brett DeWitt is strong with Cat, I guess. Doug Kong. Oh, heck. Exclamation point. Tesla out for week 1. I don't know that. I don't know if he's going to be out. We just know he wasn't there yesterday. Maybe you guys know he's going to be out, but I don't. Silver. Still want to believe in Baki. Love that player. I don't even know why, because I have not seen anything from him. Maybe is the signing. I will go with that. I think Baki is a player. He's just got to get healthy. And if he's never going to be healthy, he's never going to be a player. Silver, Baki, yeah, I knew we were going with that. Phil, greetings and salutations. Your group back at you. Brent Baki starting out his career like Stafford's Chandal syndrome. Shake my head. Oh, hey, Stafford ended up working out pretty well. Let's hope Baki does too. Johnny L. Thunder and Lightning, baby. Oh, yeah, I'll take that. Pierce, how is Tesla already hurt? Yeah, again, we don't know if he's hurt. We just know he wasn't at practice. So is he hurt or is there something else going on? We'll find out later today. Christian, good morning, Duke Crew. Exclamation point, back at you. Mary Smith, good morning. Phil, Coach Rock, Don Burr, somehow we get the woos cut down in here. It's not as wooey as it used to be. Avery T, good morning. Dan and the Duke Crew, exclamation point. Really think we should keep Sailors? We should have kept Sailors. Yeah, I liked him a lot, but, I guess he just couldn't come up with one more roster spot. Silver, Dan Campbell talked about Lovett. Maybe they really value him. I think they do. Now I saw Stewart returning kicks. But are we going to be so surprised if Lovett going to be kick returner? Reynolds and kick returner guaranteed, no big plays. All right, we'll go with that. Pierce, Doug Kong, he is already hanging out with one certain player. Maybe true. Coach Rock, good morning, Mary. You're bringing the grit as usual. Woo, I agree. Brent isn't Sailors on the practice squad. He is on the practice squad. Yes, says Silver. Pierce and Glasgow is already hurt. I want to say it was about a week or so ago. Yeah, he got rolled up in practice. He did walk off on his own, but I'm just bringing it up because you know what? He's in a high impact position. He battled a whole lot of injuries last year. He is getting a little bit older, but I'm rooting for him because you know what? His success will translate to our success. Silver, but Sailors is a very normal halfback as far as I can tell. There you go. Don Kung, laughing out loud. Yes, exclamation point. Glasgow hurt also. Don Burr, woo, hey, good to see you, Donnie. Coach Ron, Graham has to be the leader, and calling the line plays needs to stay on top of his game. I agreed with all of the above. So, Pierce, come on. You can catch a break. We can't catch a break. Let's hope we catch a break. Vernon, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Coach, I've been hearing Ragnar is getting the itch to come back. If he is, man, I don't think anybody's going to be sad if that happens. Maybe you just want to take the preseason off, right? Laughing out loud, Don is rock. Pierce, Don Burr, you gave it to the woo. There you go. Doug Kong, Vern, you heard wrong. There you go. Mary Smith, good morning. Always my Duke Crew brothers, make it easy to bring that grit. Bring that grit. Until then, let's pump the brakes on all these injury speculations. We should wait until any of this is confirmed. Agreed. With Tesla, we don't know why he missed yesterday. You believe in it so much, you said it twice. Brent, Vernon Hamp, really? I thought Frank just wanted to fish. Maybe he does, man. We'll find out. Maybe he just wants to be a workout warrior who fishes. There you go. Lionel, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew Worldwide. Exclamation point. Getting closer every day. Kingsley and Ukadi, I always kill his name, Yodi, maybe did enough in camp to prove as backup centers. Lightning and Thundercats, oh, I'll take that. Attila, Not spotted in practice does not automatically mean injured or going to miss the game. Correct with all of the above, man. I think we mentioned that. Yeah, a little bit there. Let's see, Michael. Exactly. Attila, geez. Don Bird, Pierce, laughing. Antonio, man, I never get to see you live during an EP Texas. All right. Always loves the Duke crew. Exclamation point. We love you, my friend. Thanks for always being impartial and bringing great takes. I do what I can. Not everybody likes it. I mean, I do what I can. And, hopefully that works for some. Silver Server, is Parsons 100%? Question mark. Will he play? Question mark. True, he is a game-changing player, and Lions will have to deal with him. At the same time, last season, Packers faced Lions twice without Aiden. This is true. They did face us twice, and we did still get the wins, even though we didn't have half our defense. Antonio, I like the way you're thinking. Art, I'm not going to speculate on the mentioned players until MCDC says there's a problem with them. As of now, he says they're good to go. So why are we worrying? Hey, who knows, man? Who knows? Coach Rock, Attila, they're being straight shooter. And yes, we'll see where he's coming from. We'll see where he's coming from. Even if Parsons plays, he won't be 100%. I agree with that. And risks further injury. Exclamation point. Hope he plays. I don't wish ill on any person. And I'll just put it this way with Parsons. That injury is no joke. And here would be the one thing I would say, and me just not being a Lions fan here, just trying to be a human being, if that thing's really a problem, that L5, L4, why would you play him week 1? I would let it rest as best I can. Or is that just to tell how much they view this game as a Super Bowl opportunity for them? It's tough because it's pro sports. You're out there to win. If you don't win, you lose a lot of financial ramifications. It's just a tough place to be, judging a human being who's injured like that and then trying to force them to go out there and risk further injury. I don't know, man. I see both sides of it. Okay, Brent, he might be getting that itch for the grit and comeback. Let's hope he does. Christian, can't wait until Miles Frazier is off the PUP list so he can also help out the Lions significantly. Yeah, I wonder what we have there with him. Only way we're going to find out is for him to get back on the field. Rock, with all you guys get healthy once again, it will be cut down day and more decisions. Yeah, when some of the injured guys come back, you're going to see some guys go bye-bye. Brent, until the 100 grade, I'm not stressing anything until I hear injury reports. We'll have that later today. Silver Server. In the Texans game, though, only 2 picks were really Goff's fault. And in the Washington game, Lions couldn't stop anything, and he got knocked out. He did get knocked out. I do think he tried to force the ball a little bit as the game progressed. Yes, he got that big hit. Yes, I do think he was concussed. Yes, also Lions started falling behind, and I think Goff started forcing things. As an athlete or a coach, you can't force stuff. You just got to let it come to you. Otherwise, bad things happen. If Goff does that again, that's a worry sign. But I think he's at the point where if he's not concussed in a game, he probably doesn't make some of those decisions, as you're pointing out there, Silver Server. Big D, 42-17, Lions win. I like that score prediction. Hookadoo, I also agree until Hun. Don't know Jack until it's confirmed. I agree with that. DM5, Big D, that would be awesome. Michael, 11 outlaw Parsons. Why would the Lions try running right at him? The whole field is open door for Jared Goff. 11 out loud. I do think they're going to run at Parsons a whole lot. Even if he takes the shot as a cortisone in the back to try to alleviate the pain, you keep making him block. You keep getting physical with him. You keep contorting his body when he's on running plays, getting bent backwards, and that back starts feeling a bit more pressure. That stuff's going to wear off before the end of the first quarter, and definitely by halftime. And that's where just, again, from a human being perspective, man, you got to make some business decisions about your life. Big D, remember I said Mr. DM5, Rock, 2 picks is too many to take care of the ball. Yeah, it still happens, though. Quarterbacks throw picks. I remember Phil Sims saying, hey, man, I'm going to throw another one. Get ready to go make a tackle. Vernon, Brett DeWitt, how long can a person fish? But we will see. That is why I asked Coach, do we still own the rights to Ragnar? We do. If he comes out of retirement, he's still ours. Let's see, Hookadoo, 34-24, Lions roar. I like it. Last week, says Vern. Paul, mark my words, everyone thinks this is going to be a close game. I say 37-14. I like that. I like that indeed. Mary, come on, Duke Crew, don't speak. Dave, let's focus on eating some green cheese Sunday. Go Lions. Woo! I like the way you're thinking, Mary. Coach Rock, still on the rights, Frank. We do. Paul, Lions W. Agreed. Hookadoo. Yes, we do, Vern. Thumbs up. DM5, Big D. I hope so. Johnny L. Stop all the worrying. Nobody's worrying here, right? Big D, this is not going to be a close game. We will dominate and put the NFL on notice. I like that. I like that 1,000%, my friend. Dre D, home field advantage gives 3 points, but since the Lions are great in Lambeau, makes a 1.5 favor to the Lions. I agree. I think we're going to do just fine. Michigan man. So are we saying Dan O'Damas this Friday prediction? Lions win. You know what? You'll have to tune in Friday to see if there are any special guest hosts or predictions. DM5, I got Gibbs, Monty, Jamin St. Brown scoring. Let's take that. Silver Server Gruden says Packers had a bunch of players not practicing, skipping training camp, getting surgical procedures. He is wondering how the pack at the cornerback position, at the defensive tackle position, but says it's still great deep. We'll find out. Big D playing at Lambeau Field is the home of field advantage. It is kind of nowadays for us. Silver Server Big D. What do? You tell them, Johnny O, get some grit, people. Oh, yeah, Big D is laughing. Big D, since Coach took over, we own Lambeau Field. That's not going to change. I like the way you are thinking. Christian, not concerned on Tesla, exclamation point. We've been transparent with injuries, but there was an additional report saying something was wrong outside of him missing practice. Not that I know of right now. We're just going to want to pay attention to it till later today. Johnny, remember, it's a long season. Yes, it is. The Rebel, good morning, Coach Dan and the Jew Crew. Back at you. Brent, not worried. We own the cheeseheads, exclamation point. Let's continue that. Kurt Steele, I'm here in the background getting some chores done before the Boss Up Ball premiere at 8 a.m. We'll take that. The Rebel in Shep we trust. I'm going to trust him 100%. Mary Smith, all aboard. The train is coming. Woo! And back at you. Silver Sir Vern Hamp right now was broken. Had to prepare hours just to get the body on the field. I would squash right away that idea of him coming back. Once you start getting out of that pain, hard to get back. Yeah, and I get that, man. He may get the itch to return. I just don't know if it'll be enough for him to return. Grady, Tesla did say he was nursing some knee pain during training camp, but nothing serious at the time. Maybe it got worse. Yeah, that I don't know. We'll probably know about noon or so today, maybe 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Johnny L, in the Lions, we trust. Exclamation point. I agree. The Rebel, I hope Tesla is okay. Don't start jinkity rumors. Yeah, no rumors. I'm just telling you that he wasn't there yesterday. I have not said he's injured. I've repeatedly said I don't know if he's injured. I just know he wasn't there yesterday. I did also say multiple times, hey, he wasn't injured Friday. So did he get injured or something over the weekend while maybe on a boat or something? I don't know, man. Look at Mary Smith. Choo-choo. Let's keep on chewing. Big M, seems to me that Tesla was dealing with a knee injury through camp and preseason. It's possible to flare it up or he tweaked it. Or maybe they just wanted him to have a day off because of that. You know, they have an extra day that gives you, 3 days, 4 days off straight to rest up. Maybe they're just trying to keep him ready for week 1 of the regular season. The Rebel, I believe we're ready. I like the way you're thinking. I think we are ready. DM5 TV, Hutchin Danforth will make love uncomfortable in the pocket. Let's make that happen. I see a Kirby pick or Branch pick. Hey, let's have everybody get a pick. You get a pick. I get a pick. You all get a pick. And make them pick 6s. I see Johnny Gasworks. Good morning, Duke Crew. And back at you, Gas Man. The Gas Man's in the house. Michael Tesla recovering from that worm TD celebration. Maybe that is it. Rock, I was a little chatty this morning, blaming the woo coffee. How about that? Silver Server, this game is going to be a true battle. Lambeau Field, a battlefield. They will be ready to believe. Lost all preseason game starters want to show up. Moreover, they still got that bitter taste of Washington. Yes, they do. The Rebel, come on, Duke Crew, smash all the buttons. Thank you for that, the Rebel. Johnny L, when Goff retires, could he be the next quarterback coach? Maybe if that's what he wants to do. Big M hoping Davenport makes it through the game. I think so. The Rebel Davenport is about to erupt. I like that. I like that. Ken, hope Miles Frazier makes it back soon. Would be nice to be able to have Glasgow as a backup. There you go. Thursday, great day. Let's hope he gets better. There, all right. Mary Smith, we got the best Duke Crew online Stock Live. Thank you, Dan, for what you're bringing. Shout out to our coach. Give him his grit and his woo. Oh, thank you for that, Mary. Thank you very much. Brent, love to keep tabs on Kirby and Branch. Will make him pay. Exclamation point. Oh, yeah. DM5 TV. It's hard to believe that Davenport might outplay Hutch in his first game, 3 sacks. They said he looked good at camp. Yeah, they said he's worked on a lot of things, and he is showing up, to your point. The Rebel, this is why I feel Tim Patrick was premature. Maybe indeed. But, I'm going to go with the coaching staff and the front office. If they believe it was the right move, I'm not going to question them because they see these guys every day. Yep, Dan brings the grit. Woo, thank you for that. Dunk Kong, yeah, I think our secondary will be really have a great day on Sunday. Let's hope they have a great day. The Rebel, let's go Lions. Antonio D, I have been in limbo. My sick aunt has been in her room all summer. Once college ball started, she finally came out and has a smile. That's good, man. Congratulations. Hopefully she will see the Lions win in what might be a last season. Hey, let's make this a Super Bowl season for your family. So, Dunk Kong, our defense is going to be pretty healthy. I like it. Yeah, I think all Lions fans like it, though. DM5 Antonio, I hope things get better for her. There you go. Big M, Davenport outplayed Hutch. I doubt it. Davenport still doesn't have near the motor and intensity that Hutch has. In addition, Davenport has always been a camp warrior. The regular season, we worry about. All right, let's hope he stays healthy. Prayers, Antonio, says Dunk Kong. Michael, after the Broncos cut Patrick and the Lions took a chance with him after 2 years of rehab, he's now gone, and people still worry about him. It's crazy. Hey, it is what it is, man. DM5, Big M, not according to coaches. They expect big things out of Davenport. Yeah, there's a reason why they kept him and didn't make other moves to get other people. They believe in Davenport. I know. What? Me worried? Question mark. That's math. Hey, no worrying here. Mary Smith, Antonio D, prayers are in order for you and the family. Maybe Ani brings us luck. Let's hope there's some luck for her. Johnny L, grilled cheese and hot sauce. Who never forget the hot sauce? Creative idea. Another person I haven't seen in a hot second. In any sports terms, errors, takeaways, difference between W's and L's, period. Take care of the ball. Let's take care of that ball. Amy Smith, everyone hit those buttons for our fabulous Coach Dan, exclamation point, and our Lions Talk Live do crew. Thank you for that, Mary. Amy. Sorry, Amy. Let's see. Silver Coach, not only Green Bay traded their best defensive tackle to the Cowboys, but Gruden says they're also lost to the Bengals. Their other defensive tackle, Slayton, who is right next to him, 330 pounds that is. Yeah, I'm not sure why they got rid of both, but they have a plan, I'm assuming. Prayers for your Ani, Antonio, she's in our Lions in the Super Bowl. Let's get her to see the Lions in the Super Bowl. Big M, Davenport has always had huge expectations from his coaches. It hasn't played out that way throughout his whole career. Hope this year is different. Yeah, eventually the law of averages, something's got to change, right? Anyway, proper prior planning prevents a poor performance. Exclamation point, go Lions. We'll go with that. Brent, Antonio D, prayers for your aunt. I think we all agree on that. Antonio D, thank you all. God gave us all something to connect on in football and a great crew here. There is a great crew. The Duke crew is great. Exclamation point, by the way. Johnny L, Antonio, praying for your aunt. Hookadoo. Big M, I think Davenport has it in his mind. If he gets hurt again, he's done. Could be. Johnny L, don't forget we have Meeks. In Meeks we trust. Kerry, good morning. Back at you. Antonio, do you think we are headed before the trade deadline? Brad will grab a last piece. It's possible. He has said himself. He makes calls all the time. Just doesn't get the right deals. Mary, Kerry, good morning. Josh, you never know. It could be personal use of the system, and they got Ragnow sitting until later in the season. I read that any retired player can unretire and play again anytime. He can. Yeah, he can. If the team wants to take him back, they can. Or they could trade his rights or release him or whatever. Don Kong, they legit only keep 50 players. If they like sales, he would have been 51. Yeah, instead he's on the practice squad. I see Kerry. Morning, Mary. I'm back at you both. Hookadoo. Morning, Kerry. Thought we were missing some grit. Exclamation point. Don Kong, what is our backup plan at center? I think we've got a couple options. If we improved upon those options, I wouldn't be sad. Silver, yes, Coach. It was a cat. Love felines, and I think even the Lions can use a little cat energy. I'll take that. Josh, for the team we are under contract for. Correct with that. Phil, Pawpaw, a town so great they named it twice. Yes, they did. Mary Smith, yeah, Coach, but wouldn't you be worried about him getting hurt because one go hit, he might be done? Hey, anytime, man. Yeah, especially in the NFL. One hit, you can all be done. I agree with you, Mary. Rob, I agree, but I'm not concerned about Tesla. Glasgow or Davenport being healthy is very concerning. Let's see what shakes out come Sunday. Hookadoo, Silver, I got a cat. Her name is Bear. Yes, Duke Crew Bear. Forgive me. She's black and white like a panda. Hey, it's nice to have a panda bear. Trim River, let's go Lions. Exclamation point. Woo, back at you. Gary, morning, Hookadoo. Had a real late night, but wouldn't miss this for anything. Glad to have you here as always. Silver, Hookadoo, smiling strong, Lions, Cats. Mary Smith, typo, I meant a one good hit. Yeah, I figured that's where you're going with that, Mary. Zach Taylor, do you think we will score the first TD on the Lions Sunday? Who do you think will score the first Lions TD? You know what? Let's go with Gibbs. I'll take Gibbs. Cameron, what do you got? Do we need a solid backup or make a trade? Well, I don't know what the coaching staff's thoughts are on the backups. If they don't look to acquire anybody, I'm guessing they feel pretty good about the backups, but you never know. Silver, Zach, Terry and Arnold. Okay, let's see. Hookadoo. Let's see. Brent, Hookadoo, babysitting my granddaughter's cat. She's black and white, too. Bodie is a cutie. Exclamation point, laughing out loud. Lauren, what do you got? Good morning, Coach, and the incredible Duke crew. Go Lions, one pride worldwide! Exclamation point! Woo! I'll take that. Brent Hookadoo says Brent, thumbs up. Johnny L. Pierce out until tomorrow morning. We'll see you then. Central Scrutinizer, another informative, amazing show. Have a swell day, Coach and crew. One pride, back at you. Always good to see you in the chat. Mary Smith, have a great day, Johnny L. Brent, take care, Johnny L. Hookadoo. See you in the morning, my great brother, Johnny L. Trim Reaper, have a great day, Coach and Duke crew. Exclamation point! Oh yeah. Gary, have a good one, Johnny L. Johnny V. Muhammad rotates with Hutch and Davenport, question mark, or both? Probably both. Hutch ain't playing every down. No, I think they'll probably, ease him along there. Antonio Terran Arnold's about to go off, exclamation point. Woo! All the reports are he's played pretty well in preseason. Tell it, remember that Frank's retirement is official with the NFL as of July 16th. The Lions still own the rights, but as far as the NFL, he's retired now. Rumors are probably not true at all. Correct that. I don't think he's coming back, but been wrong before. People have made comebacks. Michael Jordan made 10 comebacks apparently. Mary Smith, everyone have a great and blessed day. See you on Boss Up Ball Out. We'll see you there. Brent, have a great day. Mary Smith, Silver. Let's face it, we are sportsmen and women. We all want to be healthy, but if for a hit or of ill fate, Mike's career could be over. Packers had to pay $126 million guaranteed. We'd get a grin. As long as the man's not hurt permanently, if he misses the game, great. But I just don't wish ill on anyone, man. We'll see you a little bit, Miss Grit. We'll see you there. Phil, golf gets mobile this year, 300 yards rushing. Wouldn't that be something? People would go crazy. Thomas, the first two games are huge! Exclamation point. Lions tweak through Green Bay and thump Chicago 2-0. I like that. I like that indeed. Silver Mary Smith, thank you. Phil, how much is the head game played by the coaches? There's a lot of head games that go on. Some people try to do it a lot. Me, I just tell people don't pay attention to it. I tell everybody, when you play my teams, you know exactly what's going to happen. Here's the film. Go and get ready for it. Because the more time you're worried about us, you're not worried about you, and I like that. Phil, if Tesla is banged up, he's number 4 receiver. Might be true. Until then, Johnny V. Hutchinson played like 90% of the snaps per game last season before he got injured. Correct with that. Rock Detroit, I think the Lions are hungry for some cheese. Ooh, I'll take that. Kurt Steele, Tesla missed practice because of a slight bug, but we'll be back today per MCDC on 97.1. Hey, you got to love the ticket. Kurt Steele, see you guys today. We'll take that. Brent, thanks. Good. That's good news, Kurt Steele. It is good news. DM5 TV, thanks, Kurt Steele. Thomas, praying missing Patrick doesn't come back to bite us. Me too. I think we're all praying for that. Hookadoo, happy trails, Duke crew, one pride worldwide. I smell rotten cheese in Green Bay. Oh, yeah, we'll take that. Hey, I got something for you guys today, a new outro. And by the way, Brent, shredded cheese incoming. Happy trails, one pride worldwide. We'll get it to you guys. Spend a little time getting another one for you. Now I just got to find it where I put it on the screen. Give me a second if you please. Here we go.